You are standing at a store or scrolling online. You weren't planning to buy anything, and then something catches your eye. Maybe it's a jacket, maybe a gadget, maybe a pair of shoes way outside your budget. You buy it. And the moment you get home, or the moment it delivers, a small voice in your head goes, "Why did I buy this?" You can't explain it. You didn't need it. You didn't even really plan for it. But something made you do it. Sigmund Freud would have an answer for you. Sigmund Freud was a neurologist, a psychiatrist. He spent his life trying to understand what drives human behavior beneath the surface. The desires, fears, and conflicts buried deep in the unconscious mind. He never studied marketing. He never ran an ad campaign. He never tried to sell anyone anything. And yet, his theory became the foundation of modern advertising. Because what Freud discovered about the human mind, the hidden wants, the internal conflicts, the need for identity, turned out to be exactly what every brand in the world was trying to tap into. Today, we are going to break down the psychoanalytical model of consumer behavior, what it is, how it works, and how the biggest brands on the planet use it to make you buy things you didn't plan to buy and feel good about it afterwards. Welcome to the School of Sales. I'm Sanjay Singh, and today we are going somewhere most marketing textbooks skim over, deep into the subconscious mind of the consumer. This is the psychoanalytical model, and by the end of this video, you will never look at an ad, a brand, or your own purchases the same way again. Let's start with Freud's core idea. Freud believed that the human personality, and therefore human behavior, is driven by three forces constantly at war with each other inside your mind. The first force is the id. The id is your raw, primal desire. It has no patience, no logic, no moral compass. It only knows what it wants. And it wants it now. It's a part of you that sees that jacket and just says, "I want it, buy it now." The second force is the superego. The superego is the opposite. It's your conscience, your moral voice, the part of you that says, "You don't need this, you have bills, this is irresponsible, put it back." And then, caught between these two forces is the ego. The ego is the rational negotiator. It listens to the id's desire and the superego's caution and tries to find a decision that satisfies both. Sometimes it sides with the id, sometimes with the superego, and sometimes it finds a middle ground. And here is the marketing insight that changed everything. Most brands, most ads, most sales conversations are not talking to the ego. They are talking directly to the id, and they're using the ego to justify what the id already wants. And here is where it gets really interesting. Because once you understand id, ego, and superego, you will start seeing it everywhere. In every ad, every sale, every product that's ever made you feel something. Let me show you how this plays out in the real buying decisions. You walk into a showroom, you see a motorcycle that costs 2 lakh rupees, more than you budgeted for. Your id fires up immediately. "This is beautiful. I want this. This is me." Your superego kicks in. "You can't afford this. Be responsible. Walk away." Your ego is now in the middle. And this is where the salesperson, if they are good, steps in. They don't talk about price. They talk about how you will feel on the road. They talk about the community, the freedom, the legacy. They give your ego the language it needs to justify what your id already decided. It's an investment. You will have this for 20 years. This is who you are. The id wanted it from the first second. The ego just needed a reason, and a great brand or a great salesperson supplies that reason. Royal Enfield is a perfect case study for the psychoanalytical model. Because everything they do, every ad, every product, every brand decision is a direct conversation with the id. Think about what a Royal Enfield represents. It's not the fastest bike on the road. It's not the most fuel efficient. It's not even the most comfortable for long distances. But none of that matters because Royal Enfield is not selling a motorcycle. They are selling freedom, rebellion, The open road, the feeling of being untamed. Their entire brand language speaks directly to the eth. Leave home, conquer every road, make your own path. These are not rational messages. They are emotional triggers aimed at the deepest layer of human desire. The desire to be free, to be individual, to be a certain kind of person. And then, when your superego raises its hand, this is expensive, this is impractical, Royal Enfield has already prepared your ego with the counter argument. This is a machine that lasts a lifetime. This is heritage. This is legacy. Eth fires, superego objects, ego negotiates. Royal Enfield wins. And they have been doing this successfully for over 120 years, making them one of the oldest motorcycle brands still in continuous production in the world. And now let's talk about Nike. Because Nike does something slightly different and equally fascinating. Royal Enfield leads with the eth. Nike leads with the superego. Just do it. That's the most famous tagline in the history of advertising. And think about what it's actually saying. It's not saying you deserve this. It's not saying treat yourself. It's saying stop making excuses. Stop listening to the voice that says you're too tired, too slow, too busy. Override it. Just do it. Nike is having a direct conversation with your superego. The part of you that sets high standards, demands discipline, and judges you when you fall short. And they are positioning their brand as the tool that helps you live up to that standard. When you buy Nike, you're not just buying shoes. You're making a statement to yourself, I am the kind of person who does the work. I hold myself to a standard. This purchase is not indulgence, it's aspiration. That's the superego doing the buying. And Nike designed their entire brand to make the superego feel good about the purchase. And here is the genius. Both brands use the ego to close the deal. Royal Enfield says it's an investment in your freedom. Nike says it's an investment in your best self. Different eth versus superego entry points. Same ego justification mechanism. There is one more layer to the psychoanalytical model that most marketing courses skip, and it's incredibly useful if you are in sales or brand strategy. Freud also identified what he called defense mechanisms, the ways the mind protects itself from guilt, conflict, and discomfort. And brands use this constant. The first is rationalization. This is when your ego creates a logical reason for what was actually an emotional decision. I bought the expensive gym shoes because good footwear prevents injury. Did you think about injury before you saw the shoes? Probably not. The eth decided, the ego facilitated. The second is projection. Brands use this when they show you an aspirational version of yourself using their product. Royal Enfield doesn't show the average rider. They show the free spirit on the Himalayas. Nike doesn't show the average gym goer. They show the elite athlete. You project yourself into that image, and the purchase becomes a step towards becoming that person. And the third is sublimation, where an underlying desire gets channeled into a socially acceptable form. Someone who wants status buys a Royal Enfield instead of acting out that desire in a less acceptable way. The brand becomes the outlet for a deeper psychological need. When you understand these mechanisms, you stop asking, why did people buy this? And start asking, which psychological mechanism did this brand activate? That's a completely different and far more powerful question. Let's bring this together. 4 things to take from today. 1. The psychoanalytical model says consumer behavior is driven by 3 forces. The eth, which is raw desire, the superego, which is your conscience and standards, and the ego, the rational negotiator between the two. 2. Great brands don't sell to the rational mind first. They sell to the eth or the superego, and then give the ego the justification it needs to complete the purchase. 3. Royal Enfield leads with the eth, freedom, rebellion, identity. Nike leads with the superego, discipline, aspiration, standards. Both are Freudian strategies executed at scale. 4. Defense mechanisms like rationalization, projection, and sublimation are the hidden tools brands use to handle the consumer's internal conflict and convert desire into purchase. The next time you buy something you didn't plan to, don't brush it off as impulse. Sit with it for a second. Ask yourself, was that my Eid talking? Was it my superego setting a standard? And what did my ego tell me to make the purchase feel okay? Because when you can answer these three questions, you understand the psychoanalytical model, and more importantly, you understand yourself as a consumer. Drop a comment, tell me one purchase you have made that you now realize was pure ETH. I had loved to read them. Subscribe if you want to keep going deep into consumer psychology. There's a lot more coming. I am Sanjay Singh and this is the School of Sales. आजकल लोगों बच्चों को नौकरी नहीं चाहिए, उनको गिग्स चाहिए, उनको 2 घंटे 3 घंटे ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा 4 घंटे का काम मिल गया because they don't want to spoil their life. They want to have their fun, they want to enjoy their life. But to support their expenses, they need a side hustle to work. तो नौकरी नहीं चाहिए भाई बच्चों को, साइड हसल चाहिए और साइड हसल भी ऐसी चाहिए जिसमें वाइब हो. तो उसके बावजूद भी अगर आपको लगता है कि साइड हसल में खुद को एम्पावर करने के लिए आपको सेलिंग स्किल्स आना चाहिए तो आ जाओ स्कूल ऑफ सेल्स. हम आपको एक ऐसी स्किल देंगे जिससे आप अपनी साइड हसल्स को सॉलिड कर पाओगे. द स्कूल ऑफ सेल्स 3 months classroom, 3 months apprenticeship comes with a guaranteed job. No, not job, a side hustle for you.